to v4yav Media, Real Talk, where we talk about the latest and most realist topics. Today we have a special guest. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Nanu Mia, known as Naz on the streets.
Thank you for joining us, Naz. It's a privilege to have you. We've got 3 important questions. First question, why do young people leave school and join a life of crime, in your opinion?
Why? First of all, it's the boredom, isn't it? Really, because they don't have nowhere to go. There's no more youth clubs. There's no activities after school for the kids to do anything. So what do they join? They don't actually join in a gang. They join to socialize with a group which is classed as a gang from our point of people's view. Yeah, but then one leads to another, start making money because they don't have other incomes. Their background, probably family working, ain't got that kind of money. They can't support their trainers, and people get bullied for them little things. So that's what makes them go and try to make their own little money, little hustles, and that's what leads them to crime afterwards.
Yeah, you've really touched on some really great points in terms of what pushes them or necessarily influences them to make wrong decisions. Do you feel like the government's doing enough to support young people and vulnerable adults in our society?
No, I don't think so. The government is doing. See, when I was growing up when I was young, there was youth clubs and all that. Yeah, but as I was growing up, they were taking all that away from us. So what did we do? We had nowhere to go. So what did we start doing? We started hanging about in the streets, hanging about in the corners of the shops. Yeah, but people assumed that we was a gang, which we wasn't. We was just socializing because we had nowhere else to go. There was no activities for us to do. Yeah, a lot of our parents wasn't working. They were old age. So to be like other people, we needed like designer clothes ourselves. These days people get bullied from school because they ain't got right trainers, the right logo. So how are they gonna get the right logo? By going making money on the side, little hustling, dealing weed and this and that. That's what leads them to crime. But if the government put a place in for them to do something from work experience, to earn a little money on the side, or some kind of scheme to help them, like even a youth club. There's nothing there out there for the kids these days. Even the voluntary people, old people. Even this lockdown period, how many old people got what they needed? They ain't got right hitting probably because they ain't got enough money. How they meant to survive? There's nothing in place from the government. The government ain't looking what people need out here.
And lastly, but most importantly, do you feel like the police are supporting community members, vulnerable adults, young people out of a life of crime, providing alternatives, caring for them, relating to them, being empathetic and being there for them in times of difficulty?
No. Police are more likely to provoke them to help them. How do I mean by provoking them?
Yeah, elaborate, because I've experienced it myself.
Same here.
On multiple occasions.
I used to get provoked for hanging about in the corner of the streets. Why did we used to hang about in the corner of the streets? Because we had nowhere to go. Because the government's taking our youth clubs away. Yeah, we had nowhere to play football. Yeah, all the little areas that we used to play has been developed into housing areas. But in the housing areas, there should be a field where the young kids can go and socialize. Yeah, but as soon as the police sees a group of people hanging on the street corner, it's not going to them and helping them. They're provoking them, searching them.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, and that's what provokes youngsters.
Disgusting
behavior. Of course, it's disgusting.
Disgusting.
It provokes youngsters to lead off crime because actually, it's the government and the police are pushing the youngsters to go to that life, really and truly. Because I don't see no police officers ever help me. Yeah, I was in the streets, I grew up in the gang, I've done all the things I need to do. I've been in jail. I've never got help from no government, bruv.
They're not there. The police are not designed
to help,
to be there to help people.
No, they're just another gang in uniform.
Instigators, really.
No, they're just another gang in
abusers
uniform.
of the law. In my own experience, they abuse their law.
Of course.
They stop and search you unlawfully. When you go to the criminal justice system to get justice, there's no justice there. The judges don't serve justice. They look at you, treat you, stereotype you, and socially exclude you and target you.
Of course they do that. Of course, because first of all, have you ever seen a police officer ever help anybody in your life? I haven't.
Never.
All I've ever seen is provoke them, and change the youngster's mind to make money, to go and steal. Because you know why? It's the police and the government puts the ideas in the youngster's mind, really and truly.
100%. And lastly, what do you think we could do to stop this? How do we get rid of this issue? How do we solve the issue when we're trying to reach people that are vulnerable and have been socially excluded? due to police, due to government, due to judges, due to society.
See the 8 years that you do in school, yeah? School's meant to prevent you from leading a life of crime and all that, innit? Yeah? They're meant to teach you all that, yes? But do you feel like when you went to school, do you feel like you've been taught not to go on life of crime or not to be in this? Because whatever you studied at school, I don't see it helps you in the life in the end.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. So how can we help youngsters now? By us going to the school and telling them and showing them like how to prevent of life of crime. Do you know what I mean? Right now, nobody's doing that. We ain't got no youth clubs. We ain't got nothing out here for the youngsters these days. There's no way for them to go and socialize. If they socialize on the streets, they get targeted by police or the residents thinking they're gang, which they're not. They ain't got nowhere else to go. They can't be at home 24/7. And a mother and a father, to feed them, they can't be keeping an eye on them for 24/7 either. They have to work. They have to support themselves as well. But the community should be able to help. But the community don't help by a tool, but provoke them more, I think.
Yeah. And it's a shame, something's got to be done, and that's why v4yav was set up to be a voice for the voiceless and people that are so important like yourself to help speak up about issues that you've experienced and that are relevant today.
Yeah, how do we do that? Yeah, unless we get funding from the government, we put things in place for the youngsters these days, you know what I mean? So they can, you know, socialize certain part of area where they're not going to get targeted by the police or the other community residents, you know.
And lastly, do you have any advice for young people that are watching, that are caught up, that have been harassed by the police, that have been subject to stop and search? Any advice?
All I can say, yeah, to stay safe, go school, yeah, don't be a target just like the others. That's all I can say at the moment, because you know what, no matter what advice I give, they're always going to get targeted by the police and the government and the residents.
Second,
they're always going to get targeted by the police, residents and the government. They ain't going to help them. All I can say is just stay safe.
Thank you so much.
I know they like me, things they bother me. All of these girls, no one they come bodies, they got no money, they got no money.